correlation does not necessarily mean causation. What's up, guys? Good to see you this morning. Blessed to be here. Glad that you all took the time in order to join me and have a little conversation. Because today I actually want to speak from a security perspective in regards to assumptions and correlation, not exactly meaning causation. Now, that means that just because two incidence items, people are correlated with each other, in other words, uh, there was some connection between the two, whether that be spatial, which means where you are, temporal, which is time, uh, doesn't necessarily mean that one thing caused the other thing. When we're looking at incidents, we have to make sure that we keep a very, very, very neutral demeanor in order to de escalate. Most of the time, say a good 75 to 80% of the time, people are mad at other things besides us, and it's our job to help them see a better way and understand that correlation doesn't mean causation, because you guys already know that human beings make their own internal representations on what happens within their perspective. You also know that you could have a situation where you're in between two individuals. They are going back and forth, most likely one more than the other one. And you turn to that person and get to the actual deep root issue, which may not even be with this individual. If you hear somebody say something like, I keep getting disrespected, and then you ask why, and he said, well, that got bumped into me. But he said, I keep getting disrespected. Like, this is something that happens with them all the time. So it may be in my best interest to actually tell them, like, hey, you know, all due respect, because I want to make sure that you feel respected, because they feel like they're lacking that from other people. So I have to fill that void in order to get into rapport. Because first, rapport. If you're not in rapport, none of your techniques work. None of them. All the de-escalation in the world won't help you if you're not in rapport. You have to remain in rapport. And you can get into rapport with somebody who's angry. Just because they're angry doesn't mean they're unreasonable or not listening. You've heard people say during conversations or arguments, I should say, you've heard people say during arguments before, uh, nah, man, it's okay. You're cool. But this dude, there's one of you that he likes and there's another one that he does not like. That is rapport. Whatever the other one is doing that is being liked either didn't start the situation, because if you start the situation with the individual and they feel like you're the problem, then hard to get in rapport, not impossible, but it is a little bit more difficult. When someone else is in rapport and you're not, it's something about the way you're standing, facing that individual, how you're speaking with them. They feel like you are pressing. And if you push, you'll always meet resistance. You'll always meet resistance. There can be no push with de-escalation. It's got to be a flow. You work with, we work with. We want to be inclusive. When you're inclusive in de-escalation, then everybody calms down. First, you got to calm down. Then you want to give everybody else the opportunity to calm down. In doing that, first you need to be a rapport so that you can get that deep sense of calmness, like right before you wake up in the morning or right before you're about to go to sleep, that deep, deep, deep sense of calmness. Okay, now that you know how to be a professional, how to write incident reports, how to contact your managers when you don't know information and you need to get it, now that you know all of those things and looking back at the possibility that you could be one of our top professionals. And if you dare to apply yourself, you could absolutely get a promotion tomorrow by just showing up on your schedule and giving your absolute best at all times. Personal, business, everything. That is our commitment